and welcome to another series of modern games. Today I will be going back to my roots and revisit the very first deck that I ever built. Of course it's updated. The first version of this deck contained Glory of Warfare and other sweet cards, but the main deck is basically the same. The main cut is that Glory of Warfare is gone, and I've added, I think Squadron Hawk was the last addition to the deck. And yeah, I was a big fan of Boros when I started to play. I just thought that cards like Step Links was broken and you got to play Lightning Bolt, and yeah. So I wanted to build a deck that was neither a aggro deck or a control deck, but at the same time I didn't want a mid-range deck. I wanted a hybrid deck, aggro/control. So I wanted a deck that could go like turn 1 Goblin Guide into turn 2 Bushwhacker or something, into turn 3 Figure plus Lightning Helix, and then when the resources are empty, you just slam an Elspeth or something, and then they usually don't have an answer for it. At the same time I wanted to have a deck that could go turn 1 Bolt your guy, turn 2 Lightning Helix your guy, turn 3 Goblin Assault, turn 4 Ayani kill your guy, and play the control role. And decks like Red Deck Wins can't do that. It's just not possible, even if you sideboard something, because your guys are so bad at defending. But those guys like Goblin Guide, Figure of Destiny and so on is pretty good at defending you as well. So let's go over the deck very quickly. Typical 2 colors, mana base, 2 Tech Edge because they're needed, and I'm also playing 2 Slayer Stronghold. It's a pretty good land. I'm running 22 because we need to reach 4 mana in some games, and some games we don't, but they're pretty good. And even though I have pretty harsh mana commitments on double white, 1 of each and so forth, it's manageable to have those lands. For the 1 mana drops we have Lightning Bolts, Path to Exiles, and Figure of Destiny, that is both an early beater and an extremely potent finisher. Goblin Guide, best 1 drop, enough said. And 3 Bushwhackers, which takes us to the 2 drops in Squadron Hawks. Very few people recognize Squadron Hawk as a win condition without a sword or something else, but it's pretty nice to go Hawk, 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 and then kick, getting in for like 8 damage in the air. So that's a pretty good synergy in the deck. We also have 4 Lightning Helix and 4 Stun Snipers. And for those who doesn't know what a Stun Sniper does, it's a tapper, but it also deals 1 damage. And just so happens that a lot of creatures in this format dies to 1 damage. We have Delver of Secret, Snapcaster Mage, Dark Confidant, Grim Lavamancer, Steel Overseer, Archbound Ravager, but that's like, yeah, not gonna happen, but in case, Vendilion Click, and so on. It's a good number for this dude, and he also happens to tap down whatever he can't kill or she can't kill. It can be a bit awkward if you need to be aggressive and you have 2 of those in your opening hand, but I usually sideboard those out if it's not a creature based deck. For 3 drops we have 3 Goblin Assaults. I just like the card. Sure, it forces my Goblin Guides to start attacking, but you can play around that by dropping them post combat if you don't want to attack with them right away or whatever reason. It's also like if you play against blue, white, red, they tap out for like an electrolyzer new guy and you slam this. They just can't beat this card. It's very, very difficult for them. Especially when you force them to do something and then you drop Elspeth or Ajani, which just happens to be our 4 drops. A split 2 of each. They're very, very, very strong, but sometimes you just need the tap effect or the extra bolt, and sometimes you need more guys or a way to jump something to finish them off. So they're quite similar, but the Elspeth is a better single win condition, whereas Ayani works with the team more sort of. So quickly going over the sideboard. I'm not really done with it in any way, but Boros just gets all the good sideboard cards. We got Rest in Pieces, we got Thalia, we got Wear Tear, we got Combust, we got Blood Moon, and then we have some awkward Boros Charms and Flame Slashes, and I'm not sure what they should be, but I just feel that Stony Silence could be a thing for this deck, and also it could be right to play a sword or 2 in the sideboard. I'm not sure about that yet, but it probably is. And yeah, I don't own any swords online, so that's the main reason. Yeah, so that's the deck. It has been like this. I think this is like the 5th or 6th version since I started out. The first version had like Step Lynxes, Pledge Geopedes, the typical aggro Boros deck, but no fetch lands, so that was not so good. And yeah, I've been working on the deck for 2 years now, back and forth, so let's see how it matches up today with some 2-man queues.